So it looks like it is 7 o'clock. Welcome. Have a seat on your mat. Let's begin comfortably cross-legged, sitting tall, taking our first deep breaths of the practice tonight. Allow your shoulders to roll back. Taking these first few breaths to feel present on the mat. Presence is an important part of our yoga practice. So I encourage you to be really present in each of the poses that you take tonight. Let's take our hands, lay them on the mat behind us, and lean back, expand across your chest, right? It's just a nice broadening across the front of your shoulders. Lean your head back gently and take another deep breath. Now legs extend forward, sitting tall in this new position. If you need a little bend in your legs, you can give that. Be comfortable in your seated position. Starting to fold forward softly. Paschimottanasana is our seated forward folding pose. And we're folding or bending from our hip hinge. Keeping our spine in line as we fold forward. Now let's sit up and hands on the mat behind us again, puffing the heart upward, broadening across the heart and chest space. Chest expansion and arms extending, legs extending as well. And now let's swing our legs smoothly back and take a child's pose. Right, tonight's practice is geared to the restorative side. The intent is to be replenishing. So as you take this pose, your spine is gently lengthening. You're resting on your forehead center. Breathing into 360 degrees of your belly, ribs, and chest. Now let's go left arm first. Left arm under the right. Thread the needle pose. You're resting on the outer left shoulder, left side of your head. Right arm extending forward, left arm extending across the room. It's a nice stretch to the upper back, through shoulders, and through the rib cage space. And now that we've tried thread the needle on resting on left shoulder, let's unwind and shift to the right shoulder. Left arm extends forward. Let's breathe deeply. All right, so we thread the needle, or let's unthread, come back to center to watch. Now this, I'm gonna do it upright first. Your arms are gonna cross over very much, right? Doesn't matter which arm goes on top in the moment. Arms cross, we lie on the arms, chest on arms, knot pose, right? This is a knot in the arms. And as we can use our tiptoes to kind of shift us forward just a little bit, or shift us back if you need to dial a little bit out of the pose. Dial into the position of comfort and balance. Your chest resting on your stacked arms, arms extending across room, right? Tying the knot a little tighter. All right, now we'll pull the heart up off of the arm so that I can uncross. I'm coming back to the start position. So now change the cross, right? The other arm on the top. Lay out your knot pose. Shift around to find your balance. Arms extending across the room. All right, well done. Let's peel the heart up and untie our arms. Hands on ground, let's move back to child's pose. We've already been there. One more long, deep breath. And we'll come up to hands and knees pose, tabletop. Let's draw some cats and cows, some good spinal stretches. Exhaling cat, inhaling cow. Curling into cat, exhaling fully. Inhaling as our head and heart rise and our belly dips into cow. A couple more rounds of breath. One more cat, and then meet me in cow pose, please. From this pose, notice how you're balanced on your handprints, your shoulder heads are spreading apart, and heart and face are lifted. Let's remember those qualities. Right leg moves to the front of the mat, an external rotation of the right leg, and I'm still balanced on handprints. Start to slide your left leg back, and your root sinks a little deeper towards the ground. It doesn't have to touch. Let's balance our pigeon pose. And breathe. And then maybe we start to sink a little deeper into the stretch. And that sinking deeper might look like coming down onto your elbows. One more long, deep breath. And then come back to handprints if you drop to elbows. And my left foot is the foot at the back of the mat. Turning left toes under to come into downward dog pose. Organizing our bodies thoughtfully, breathing deeply. Just good stretches through your arms, through right and left sides and the central part of the spinal body. Your legs get a good stretch, but they don't feel real stiff and straight. Give your legs just a little bit of bend. And knees return to the ground, to tabletop pose. Let's take a few more cats and cows. Remembering our exhale, it moves in the cat pose through the body. And our inhale moves the cow pose through the body. Let's meet in cow and shift our left leg up to the front of the mat. Our left externally rotated leg rests at the front of the mat and our right leg slides back, encouraging our root, our pubic bone, to sink closer to the ground as we remain steady and centered. Find those deep breaths, and I'll define deep as breaths that fill up your belly, ribs, and chest, all of the space, 360 degrees of it. Back to handprints, please. And we shift our weight off of the left leg, turning sideways on our mat. We're still using tabletop position. Knees slide apart into our frog pose or our goalie stretch, right? A hockey goalie stretch. You're generating a stretch across your inner groins and thighs. Body steady and belly zipped. So if your belly feels like it's dripping towards the ground, zip it up, strengthening the belly space and lengthening. And feeling those deep breaths filling 360 degrees. Slowly we rise, hands on the ground, and we peel ourselves up, coming back to seated position. Right leg on the bottom, left leg is going to cross over. So we're doing another knot action, this time with the legs. Stacking legs best that you can, but better said, let's start with our feet. So the pinky toe sides, right? The pinky toe edges, outer edges of the feet are resting as evenly as possible on the ground. And your sit bones in your bottom are resting evenly as well. Those are your downward anchors. And then from that downward anchor, sit up nice and tall vertically through your spine. And then maybe you start to fold forward. That's gonna definitely lay some intensity into the pose. Okay, let's rise and change sides. So let's untie the knot and retie the knot. Left leg on the bottom, right leg comes to the top. Start to even out best you can the outer edges of the feet, your sit bones on the mat. Those points are heavy as we sit up tall, vertically tall. And then we decide whether we're going to lean in or not. Honor your body. One more long deep breath. And then we'll untie the legs and straddle legs out. Legs stretch, and they are apart stretching, hence the straddle. Seated on your bottom floor, so you don't want to be rocked onto the back of the sit bones. It's going to make folding forward or getting forward at all pretty hard. So you want to shift into your base. Define your hip hinge. And then start to breathe and feel your way through folding forward in your straddle. I hope you can find the place where the best stretches are, rather than straining to go further. Pause in that good zone. Let's sit up tall again. Come back to crossed legs, just like we started. Handprints on the mat, puffing up the chest, expanding chest, strong arms, deep breath. Lean your head back gently so you do feel the stretch travel through your neck and throat space. Okay, we'll come off our handprint onto hands and knees, different handprint position, tabletop position. Exhaling cat pose, inhaling cow pose. Take it slow. Enjoy those moving segments of your spinal body. Let's meet in the cow pose, please. And then right leg scoots up to the front of the mat, pigeon pose. Can you find the peaceful place in pigeon? Let's come back to handprints if you drop down to your elbows. Shifting back out of your pigeon to tabletop position. A few more cat-cows, please. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. One more round. Meet in cow pose once more. And left leg scoots up to the front of the mat for pigeon pose. Left leg is taking that externally rotated angle. Right leg is straightening right down the mat behind us. Finding our peaceful place in pigeon pose. Return to handprint. And we'll peel ourselves up out of our pigeon and turn our tabletop to the side to let our legs slide apart into frog pose. Descending peacefully towards the ground in frog. And keeping a sense of serenity through the body, but also strong. One more long, deep breath in your frog pose. And then we'll use our handprints to press ourselves and peel ourselves back up. And we'll meet sitting comfortably cross-legged. Just check in again, centering your body, sitting up tall. Hopefully you're feeling taller and it's perhaps a little easier to sit cross-legged than when we started. That said, new position, left leg extends forward and we'll keep our right foot tucked in, right leg tucked into angle. Janu Shirshasana, head towards knee pose. But before you get ahead of yourself, trying to put your head on your knee, remember, it's a forward fold. It's a seated forward bend. So you're finding your hip hinge to fold over. And not only is our left leg straightening and lengthening, our spine is lengthening as we fold forward. Thoughtfully Rise up, sit up, and change sides. Right leg forward, left leg comes into angle. Reframe your base to fold forward from your hip hinge. Janu Shirshasana, head towards knee pose. But do it peacefully, please. Breathfully. All right, go ahead and sit up, and footprints on the sidelines or maybe a little wider than the sidelines of your mat. Bent legs, sitting tall. We already use these handprints behind us for support. Sit upright, puff the chest up so we're not allowing the heart to cave in. Broadness across the heart space. Shifting through your hips. So right now my right outer thigh is rolling to the ground. My left inner thigh is rolling into the ground. External rotation, internal rotation. And now we go the other way. And left leg is externally rotating. Right leg is internally rotating. Enjoy those actions as you hip roll. Your outer thighs, inner thighs are greeting the ground as you rotate through your hips and legs. One more. All right, back to center. My legs are coming in again, sitting up tall, Dandasana. So using internal, external rotation. Right leg moves back. Internally rotating right leg into the ground. Left leg is straightening. You kind of look like a hurdler getting over the hurdle. Root down through your pubic bone, through your bottom floor, and start to ease out a bit of a forward fold. Honor your body. Find the good stretches. And they begin from balance. Okay, slowly, right leg moves forward, extended, and left leg takes internal rotation. Reframe your base, root down through your bottom floor, and explore a little bit of forward fold, leaning in. Keep your roots deep as you lean forward. All right, we'll sit up and change positions. So left leg moves up to the front of the mat to external rotation. Right leg swings thoughtfully back behind us, realigning. Let's find our pigeon again. Back to our handprints. And our right foot is at the back of the mat. Turning right toes under, we're going to take downward dog pose. Reframing our balance. Taking 3 long, deep breaths in your down dog pose. And then you can put your knees on the ground to tabletop, or from downward dog, you can simply bring your right leg up to the front of the mat. Pigeon pose again. Centering, lengthening, and sinking peacefully. Back to handprints. And let's peel up. Turn to the side so you get that long mat to use underneath you to slide out your frog pose. Legs glide apart, finding your place of balance. As we breathe, allowing our hips, our front body to just sink a little closer to the ground if it can. One more long, deep breath. And then we'll peel ourselves up for frog pose. Good job. Take a moment coming back to our Sukhasana, our easy seated pose, comfortably cross-legged. We're checking in this position for the third time tonight. Again, hopefully you feel the changes in your body, and those changes are positive. That said, let's go ahead. I'm going to turn my back to you just to lie on the mat. So let's lie back. And your right leg bends and draws in, but towards the outer side of the right rib cage. Right hand can grip your shin bone or your outer foot or a big toe. I love outer foot. That's my fave. Half of a happy baby. Just half, just one leg, right leg. Your right footprint is to the sky. You're still holding the right leg bent and close to the side of your body. All right, let's release that right half a happy baby. And let's gather up our left leg, left half of a happy baby. Okay, left leg release. Now, legs extended, body lying on the ground. Let's hug our right knee to ribs. Knee to chest pose. And we're holding on to our right bent leg, breathing deeply. Now our right leg crosses over the body. Our right inner foot edge rests on the ground. And our arms, shoulders, chest expand across the floor. We're reclining, we're twisting, we're melting. One more long deep breath. Come back to center, knee to chest pose. Give your right leg a big hug. Take a really nice long deep breath. And trade legs, left knee to chest pose. And then our left bent leg crosses over the body into our twisting pose, letting the left inner foot rest on ground. Shoulders try to anchor back again to ground as we expand our arms, chest and heart across the floor. Breathing into 360 degrees of your body brightly. All right, back to center. Give your left knee a hug, knee to chest pose. Now let's do happy baby pose, holding on to both feet this time. All right, both feet, both legs. Ananda Balasana. Keep the base of your spine, the tail space, and the base of your skull. Keep those 2 points plugged into the ground during your happy baby pose. And let your feet float back down to the ground. Footprints together, knees apart. Reclining butterfly pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. And if you like, you can place one hand, your right hand on your belly, and your left hand on your heart. Your arms relax, body relaxed, resting and breathing deeply. Feel your hands gently rise when you fill with your inhale, and the hands softly sink on your exhale. Those deep breaths in your well-placed body, indicating to your body that all is well. Your body resting along and across the ground. And your breath deeply filling and expanding throughout your body, oxygenating every cell. We did a lot of child's pose and happy baby pose in class tonight, and just reflecting this reading that I'm going to give to you here. Now is the time to recapture the wonder. Chase back through the years. Remember that sense of wonderment you had as a kid, that driving curiosity, that wide-eyed thirst for knowledge. It's still there. Sometimes it's buried under responsibilities. Sometimes it's dulled by setbacks, but it's still in you. Release it. Embrace it. Breathe deep into every aspect of your body. fill your cup. And may you continue to do the things and breathe deeply and fill your cup more continuously. Starting to wiggle your fingers and toes and making your way back to the surface, back to seated, ready to enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. Thanks for being here.